Well, good morning. It is Sunday, April 26, 2020. Long time no talk. it's just been one of them winters, and then of course now we're going through the virus and other things happening. I'll fill you in when we're in the air. We are under lockdown here in Illinois. This is the second time I've gone flying in a month and a half, I suppose. Because of that, but I got to get out and exercise the plane. Today, we went about 3 weeks ago up the river, and today we're going to go just down the river, just down about 30-40 minutes, turn around, fly back, just to get the oil moved around and all the rest of it. So I've just about to get the ATIS, and we'll get going, and I'll fill you in kind of in the air. All right, here we go. ATIS.
Papa. What's the airport information? Papa 1152 Zulu, wind 25 at 4, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 3, dew point 2, altimeter 3012. Visual approaching east landing and departing runway 27. Notice airman taxiway Kilo closed between Kilo 4 and Kilo 8. Advise on initial contact, you have information, Papa.
Okay, we do have Papa. We are not IFR today, so we're going to go to clearance delivery 12405. 12405. Good morning, Quad City clearance delivery, Comanche 6928 Papa at the South Tees with Papa.
Air Shuttle 5011, Quad City ground runway 27, taxi via Charlie Alpha, cross runway 23 approach. Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City clearance, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, clearance. Just heading down the river on a flight. I'll probably go down to about Keokuk and come back, just moving the oil around.
Roger that, stand by. Comanche 28 Papa, maintain VFR at below 4,000, departure frequency 133.27, squawk 0361.
At or below 4, 0361, 13327 is the frequency, 6928 Papa.
Comanche 28 Papa, read back correct.
0361, I'm Rusty. At or below 4, 13327. 13327, that's tower, that's ground. Oh, come on, there we go. Okay, boom, program the GPS. No need really, we're just gonna, maybe on the flight back we'll come back direct, but transponder is set, lights, directional gyro is set. What was the wind? Nothing, 250 at 4, all right, so it's no big deal. Time radios are set, nav radios are set, airspeed is good, altimeter is set, VSI, flaps are up, trim is set. Landing gear indicator is green. JPI switch to normalize. I think we got number 5. Well, no, they're all in line. Yeah, okay. Taxiing checklist. Okay. Brakes, let's give them a check. Brakes are working. And we'll go to ground. Pull up our chart here. We're on ground. Good morning, Quad City ground, Comanche 6928 Papa at the South Tees, looking for permission to taxi to the active.
Comanche 692 Papa Quad, City Ground, runway 5, taxi via Kilo.
5 via Kilo, 28 Papa. Okay, that one's simple. 5 via Kilo we know and love. They are shortening runway 523 here. In the middle of the airport there's this, and you can look at it on a map, there's this massive intersection where all 3 runways come together. And there have been instances in the past, now it hasn't happened in a few years, because they changed how they do things. When you're landing on 27, it looks like a high-speed turnoff. So, or at least 23 does. So it's they're going to actually take that intersection, redo it, and shorten 523 to make it like 3,000 something feet. Still plenty long enough for us, but some of the larger twins are not going to like it.
Comanche 28 Papa, I've got a new beacon code for you when able.
Yeah, go ahead. 28 Papa.
6237.
6237's in the box, 28 Papa. Okay. Also got some autopilot news. We'll go over that. Hopefully I remember. This flight is more just to try to keep the rust to a bare minimum. As I said, I went 3 weeks ago. That was after a month-long hiatus. Went through annual. Tell you about that. Nothing super exciting. Just going to go for a flight, you know. Okay, we're cleared onto Kilo here. So we're going to have a 4-knot tailwind, which is, I mean, it's not even stirring the windsock, so I'm not too terribly
for the 5011 Quad C tower, proceed on course.
Concerned.
7 clear for takeoff.
Start getting towards 10 knots. I start going, hey, wait a minute. We can taxi. Actually, if you get above 5, I start going, hey, we can probably taxi, but the wind is really calm. Okay, let's go ahead. Alright, hold short line. Set the brake. Okay, brakes are set. Doors and windows are closed and locked. Flight instruments, flight controls. Free and correct. Flight instruments. All looking good. Oil pressure, oil temperature is good. Make sure we're going to leave it lean, 1500 RPM. We'll put some fresh oil in that prop hub. Here's 1. RPMs drop. 2 manifold pressure increases, and we're looking for an oil pressure wiggle, and the needle wiggles. Now we go to 2. And EIS coming off. EIS coming back on. Magneto.
Contact departure, good morning.
Magneto barely even wiggles the damn thing. Oil pressure, temperatures, and back to idle. Good idle, back to 1,000. All right. Okay, fuel pressure, throttle, we did all that. Pre-takeoff checks, circuit breakers are all in. Trim, final check. Radio to tower. Next frequency is set. Transponder is set to altitude. Flaps are up. Floor is clear. Primer is in and locked. Carb heat. Prop. Throttle. Make sure we'll get on roll on. Pitot heat we're not going to need. Strobes. Coming on. Landing and taxi lights are on. Fuel boost pump will get on roll on. Read the takeoff, review takeoff, and call tower. Fuel flaps trim at the hold short line. We're going to rotate today at 85.
Quad City Airport information.
VY is 105.
3014, wind calm.
Brakes, gear, flaps. Cruise 120, 130. Prop back to 2500. Keep the EGTs below 400. Or cylinder head temperatures below 400. EGTs would be impossible. And we'll trim for the climb. All right. Our map, we're just going to go down the river. So we're VFR down the river. There is some traffic, 6,000 feet above us over there. Okay. Got left is fuel flaps and trim.
Good morning, Quad City Tower, Comanche 6928, pop at Kilo 1 and 5, ready for takeoff.
Comanche 6928, Papa, Quad City Tower, good morning, proceed on course, runway 5, clear for takeoff.
Going to be north up to the river, then a left-hand turn down it, 6928, Papa.
Okay. Fuel. Flaps. Trim. Crossing the hold short line. No traffic. Woody inbound. Light tailwind. He said it's calm. It looks calm. Grass isn't even wiggling. I'm up on the 85 mile an hour is our rotation speed. On center line. Here we go. Fuel pressure, oil temperature. There's full power. Lock the throttle down. Airspeed is alive. There's 75, 80, 85. Up she comes. Positive rate of climb. Gear coming up. Flaps are up. Pitch for VY. Gear is up. Flaps are up. We're at VY. Holding some right rudder. Flying runway heading. Forgot to turn on my noise canceling there. That's a hell of a lot better.
Comanche 28 Papa, contact departure. We'll talk to you later.
28 Papa, over departure. Thanks, sir. Good morning, Quad City departure, Comanche 6928 Papa, indicating 1,250 feet in the climb.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City departure, good morning, radar contact, VFR altitude, your discretion.
28 Papa going to 2,500 VFR. Am I go ahead and clear to turn, sir?
Comanche 28 Papa, affirmative, proceed on course.
On course, 28 Papa.
All right. Fuel boost pump coming off. Fuel pressure is holding. $2,500 RPM. We're going to 2,500 feet. And we're just going to kind of buzz down the river. Oh, this lovely air. 125 miles an hour indicated. Right at 950 feet a minute. I love cold air. All right, there's 2,200 for 2,500. We're coming up on the river. Everything's looking good. Everything's sounding good. Cylinder head temperatures, 370, 381 is my highest. There's 2,500.
Experimental 215 Golf, Quad City approach, quad altimeter 3014.
We'll fly right over Arsenal Island. This is what this island is down here. Rock Island Arsenal. I believe that is the largest employer in the Quad Cities. They make, well, when my grandfather worked there as a machinist, they made cannons and all kinds of artillery and all kinds of things. Nowadays, I think they still make a lot of that, but I think a lot of it's private contractors do it, not so much arsenal people. All right, so we're in no hurry. 65% horsepower at 2,000. What is our pressure altitude here? 2,500 feet exactly. 22.1, 23. We're up to speed, 22.1. Back that off, 23. Okay, and we'll go ahead and lean it out. 13 gallons a minute. No, wait a minute. 100 degrees should be 13. About there. Oh, that's lovely. Smooth air. Great visibility. A little bit too nose down now. And we're just going to follow the river. As you can see, things are just starting to turn green. We're just starting to get buds. Go over the west end of Rock Island here. There's a bridge. I don't know if you folks can see that, but down there, that's the 280 bridge. The Quad Cities is bisected by the Mississippi River, and there are 4, well, not counting railroad bridges, there's 4 bridges going across it. And that's the most westerly, because you got to remember here the river runs east and west, not north and south. All right, let's get back down to our altitude here. We're VFR, and we're kind of just being lazy. Oh, I'd say the visibility, those probably, what is that? Well, I bet you it's 12 miles or so. It's not great, but it's not horrible either. All right, so let's go through our cruise checklist. Throttle is set, propeller is set. Mixture is good. Fuel pump is off. Fuel pressure is looking good. Engine gauge is all looks good. The cylinder head temperature is lovely. There's like a 15-degree spread between them. I love that. Heading indicator is good. We're just going to kind of buzz along here. We're just crossing the ADM plant. Actually, no, the ADM plant's down there. We're just crossing, oh, for Pete's sakes, it's a gravel company. They have kilns, they dry. Oh, for Pete's sakes, I'm getting old. Can't remember it off the top of my head. they're a client of mine. Ugh, anyway. Autopilot is needed, which we're not going to need for today, I don't think. Once we get everything kind of trimmed out here, we'll just chillax. Get a little bit too thin. Easy 135 knots, just loping along. indicating, what are we indicating? 150 miles an hour indicated. Well, that's calibrated. 148 is our indicated. So anyway, where have I been? Well, it started out this winter was really unusual for this part of the country. We, normally, a winter for us, long about into December, mid-December into December, it gets cold, and it stays cold. We get, we get a couple weeks typically in January of intense cold, but normally, we're down around 10 degrees, 12, 15 degrees, and every 4 or 5 days, we'll get a weather system come through. A low coming out of Canada a low coming from the south will pop our temperatures up. We'll get clouds and crap, and then the jet stream will bring a cold high pressure in from Canada and drop us back down. And then we sit for 3, 4, 5 days under clear skies, and then we'll get another one come through. So flying in the winter here, while cold, is normally you get 4 or 5 out of 7, 8, 9 days clear. They're cold, but they're clear. Well, this year that did not happen. The jet stream stayed more north of where it normally is, and so we had the weather more like, I suppose southern Illinois, where we had clouds. It hovered right around freezing. At night it might get down to into the low 20s, and then during the day it would get above freezing. But and we had clouds, and you couldn't go up flying. I mean, there was a period in February, the entire month. I think the sun came out maybe 7 times, 8 times the whole month. So we had a cloud layer, and it wasn't a tall cloud layer. You're talking 1,000 feet, 1,500 feet. So you could technically, you could bust along and fly, but you were, and there was ice. Of course, there's always icing air mets, always. Whenever there's clouds, they call ice. Even though there might not be ice in them, I still don't go. I have no any icing capability. I don't have to go anywhere that important. So I don't fly in clouds when the temperature is below freezing. So there I sat and sat and sat. February finally comes along. I hadn't flown in, I did a video on the landing here, and I didn't fly until it was time to go to annual. Luckily got a clear day and flew up to Freeport, picked up Sean, and flew him back down. He dropped me off, and I mean I was rusty. I actually took off out of Moline and really kind of took my time. I didn't record it because I was focusing solely on making sure I was doing everything right, especially because I had to pick up Sean, and I didn't, so I knocked the rust off. Did a great landing, which is strange. It seems like your best landing is always after a long period of not flying, but you have a tendency to mess up your buttonology and your frequencies, and we're getting up close here to Muscatine. There is an airport in Muscatine. They do some glider flying out of here, which is a lot of fun to come in. And there's a restaurant right across the street from the airport. And it's a lot of fun to come here and watch gliders. I've flown in one glider when I was in like 9th grade. I worked for a Dr. Paul Risty, who was a veterinarian. Him and his wife owned a veterinary shop in Ramona, California. And I started volunteering at their vet shop when I was 14. And then when I was 15, they hired me as a part-time, just a kennelman. I cleaned and carried heavy things and picked up big animals, just stuff that a young kid can do after school. cleaned up a lot of dog doo-doo from the yard. But he liked to go golfing. And of course, I didn't know how to golf, but my mother, she was kind and bought me this cheap set of Wilson golf clubs, and I'm left-handed, so of course they were hard to find. And I'd go golfing with him. Really, I'd just watch his ball form, and because I'd hit mine, it'd only go 15 feet, you know. But anyway, and he bought me a flight and a glider in Warner Springs, which is where he golfed at. There was a glider port there. And that's what really kind of got me hooked on aviation. I knew, this is cool, you know. And that's what really set the bug in my head to want to do this. Of course, I didn't have any money. You know, my mother was a bus driver, and my stepdad at the time was in the Navy. We moved down to San Diego, lived in Navy housing. You know, we never starved or never went without clothes or anything like that. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's no hardship here. Nothing what I'd call real hardship. Let's go ahead and make sure we stay over the river. Watch this airport here. I don't want to get too close to it. Good 5 miles that way. So anyway. Maybe it's Burlington. I think it's Burlington that has the gliders. Anyway. So no real hardship. I'm just babbling at this point. So anyway, go down, do annual. Annual goes smooth, literally 2 weeks. Sean calls me up, says, hey, everything's fine. A few minor tweaks, but nothing. Time to switch tanks. Nothing what you would call boost pump on, right main on, left main off. Fuel pressure's holding. Fuel boost pump coming off. Fuel pressure's holding. Reset the timer. So, got the plane back from annual. I'd say it was third week in February, fourth week in February. Well, then of course, COVID-19, it is here, the glider port. I can see the hangar setups. And, now the virus pops up. And I, like everybody else, went into serious lockdown. My wife is a celiac, so she's got a suppressed immune system. We're like, oh my God. And of course all the news of back then was, a million people are gonna die or whatever. It was all crazy. So didn't go flying all of March. That about second week in March, I suppose we did that. Didn't go flying all of March. And finally went here, I think it was April, after, like I said, about a month and a half or so, I went up the river, and it's been 3 weeks. I figured, well, I'll go down the river. Barges are running. So that's pretty much it. Been locked down at the house. Luckily, I work from home. My wife works for me. We both work from there. So our lives have not changed drastically. Other than we can't go out and have dinner now and again or something like that. But I'm starting to think that maybe we're overdoing it. I'm starting to think things are getting, because now Illinois, we're locked down now to the end of May. And it's getting a little bit ridiculous. I can understand the beginning, before we had any kind of real data. What it boils down to is, if you are in a high-risk group, they should lock down. The rest of the world, we need to go back to doing what we do. Go back to work, Those that are willing to take the risk, do it. And those that cannot, those are the ones, retirement homes. If you're over, 65, 70 years old, or if you have any underlying pre-existing conditions. Now those people, I could say, the government should say, look, you folks stay home and come up with some kind of thing that allows them to do that. And, maybe employers can come up with something.
German 15 Alpha, affirmative, just pretty quiet yet this morning.
It is gorgeous out, except for the visibility.
I don't expect it'll be that way all day though.
And anyway, there's my ranting done. That's where I've been, nothing special. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut the cameras off. I'm gonna go down towards Keokuk, turn around, come back, just moving the oil around, making sure that she gets flown now and again. And I'll check back in with you when I'm headed back in. We'll talk to you all in a bit. Bye. Well, good morning. It's almost 9:30.
Fed Force 1 traffic, 12 o'clock, 2 miles, average direction, altitude indicates 3,300.
20 miles south of Moline. We're headed back in at 3,500 feet. Got the ATIS, wind shifted a little bit more to the north, but it's still 3-4 knots. So we're going to use runway 5 to land on. Uneventful flight, lovely flight down the river. Turned around, climbed up 1,000 feet, and direct back to Moline. Just passing over Alpha, Illinois right now, or not Alpha, I'm sorry, it's Aledo. Alpha is right over there.
Fed Force 1, roger, thanks.
Yeah, we're 18.5 miles out. And we already have the ATIS, so sit back, relax. I did have somebody send me a note. They want me to talk about how to use the throttle and the propeller pitch. And I'll get that on my next flight, put together some kind of outline to explain it, at least how I was taught to do it. Visibility's definitely improved. I bet you it's 25 miles maybe. By now, I can see the river. That's 15. Yeah, that's at least 15. Anyway. I hope everybody's healthy. And what I was saying earlier about this coronavirus thing, I think Sweden's done the right idea. Don't lock anything down. Tell the people that are most at risk to shelter in place. Everybody else gets it, gets through it, get herd immunity as quickly as possible. And then you can release the people that are most at risk. I don't know. I haven't lost anybody I know, so maybe you look at it differently then. I don't know if I've had it or not.
67614
Anyway.
Cloud City approach, good morning, Flock 0365, say altitude and request.
So we need to start our descent. To do that, what I'm going to do is pull out a couple inches of manifold pressure. Turn off the altitude hold. Just let it start on down. Need about 500 feet a minute.
So the 614, we are contact 1 mile northwest of the Davenport Airport, the Quad City altimeter 3015 and say type Cessna.
There we go, 500 feet a minute.
Roger that.
And we'll trim it as the airspeed picks up. You'll want to wind is definitely from the northwest up here at 135 knot ground speed coming back up. And I'm doing about 145 knots airspeed, true airspeed, so I got the airport in sight.
Quantity approach 6928 Papa with field in sight.
Comanche 28 Papa, roger, make straight in runway 5, contact tower 119.4, you have a good one.
Straight in 5 over to tower. You two have a safe week.
Okay.
Good morning, Quad City Tower, Comanche 6928 Pop. I am 10 miles southwest of the field, straight in runway 5.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City Tower, runway 5, clear to land.
5 clear to land, 28 Papa.
Hey, Comanche 28 Papa, now that you got the oil moved around in the engine, if you want to work on the flat spots on the bottom of the tires, got time for pattern work.
Yeah, I understand you guys are probably bored, but I got to get home and we got things to do yet today.
No problem.
Good approach, good morning, 73726 on a 17,600 for 14,000 with information echo.
I would love to stay and do some pattern work. That actually sounds like fun.
Trust to 4,000 and we'd like runway 36, that was 37.6.
All right, so we're landing on 5. We're cleared to land on 5. We got to get down here, get her slowed down.
Right, 10 degrees for 36, that was 37.
And we'll get the legs down. Go ahead and do our after landing checklist. Or, I'm sorry, before landing. So we've got the ATIS, we've set up the GPS, comm radios. We got ground here. Approach timer, fuel selector, we are on the fullest tank. Before landing checklist, seat belts, seat backs. Emergency gear lever is clear. Carb heat we're not going to worry about. Gear selector it once we get it slowed down. Fuel boost pump with our gumps. Propeller, and we'll get our, once we get our gumps.
And Comanche 28 Papa, are you going straight back to the southeast?
I am, sir.
Right.
Alright, there's runway 5 you can see. And we got free ourselves down here. Pull out some more, couple more inches of manifold pressure. We're going a little bit too quick. I want to be about 1,500 feet and I'll pull level. Get it slowed down until I can throw the gear out. Here's the bumps. 1,900 feet. Might have been a little bit of wind shear there actually. No, thermals. 1,700 feet. 100 feet to go. Alright, we will pull level. And we're really going to pull some power out here. Give it a couple twists. Nose up trim. Now you see we got 4 red lights, so that means I'm below the glide slope. These things are awesome to have. Sometimes you don't have them, sometimes you do. We're now within gear speed. There's 1 white, 3 red. We're gonna go 2 white, 2 red. I'm gonna drop the gear. And there's the second white coming in. Gear coming down. Gas. Undercarriage is green. Mixture. Prop. Coming in, get us the most drag. Let's get it down to 100. There is a buzzard right there, but we're above him. Never want to go below them. Always above because they dive away. All right, so let's get some flaps working in here. There's 100. Here's the first notch, second notch. Okay, so we're looking for landing speed is 80 miles an hour. We're at 90. We're coming down, adjusting the throttle here. Now throttle controls altitude and pitch controls airspeed. I'm still a little bit fast. Or no, I'm at 85, that's where I want to be. Can't get so almost over the airport fence. Final notch comes in. We give her a twist to trim, a couple twists. We're looking for 80 miles an hour short final. There, I'm right on glide slope, getting a little bit low. That's okay because I want to make that turn off. Gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop gear is down. Okay, so we pull a little power here, we'll point the nose down. Pull it out. There we go, come level. Come level. Nose up, nose up. We're in ground effect, nose up, and we ease it right down. Alright, let's dump out the extra lift. And we come up on the brakes.
Comanche 28 Papa, speed permitting, 180 on the runway is approved. Back taxi Kilo 2, taxi parking this frequency.
180 on the runway back to Kilo 2, 6928 Papa.
Okay, around we come. Clear off this runway. Back at Kilo 2. Carried a little bit too much speed on that one. Okay, let's go ahead and lean this out. We'll go through our, he said Kilo 2. This one is closed. This is Echo. All the way back down to the end. Yeah, or not the end, it's Kilo 2. It's almost the end. All right, folks. Thanks for flying along with me. I hope you all stay safe. Don't get sick. And if you do get sick, it ends up being a whole lot of nothing. Okay. And I am going to get self-serve fuel today. Don't normally do that, but with everything going on, I don't want to expose the lineman to me or me to the lineman. All right, fuel boost coming off. After landing checklist. Flaps are up, carb heat is off, mixture is lean.
Tower, I'm cleared into the T's, yeah?
Comanche 28 Papa, affirmative, taxi via Kilo 3.
Roger, Kilo to the T's, 28 Papa.
Okay, mixture, pitot heat, landing and taxi lights coming off, strobe lights coming off. Fuel boost pump is off. Nice. That was a good flight. Good landing too. A little bit fast. Ate up 500 feet more runway than I thought I was going to, but rusty. Here's somebody going out. I've flown that airplane. It's a part of the Flying Eagles here. My second lesson or third lesson in that, and Diane said, well, you want it to 172 because it was me and her crammed into a 152, but I like that little 152. It was fun. Wasn't terribly fast, but it was fun. And you could really grease the landings on that thing. You got the nose way high and she just settled nicely. Crosswinds are rough in them because they got a big wing. All right, let's go ahead and we'll pull in here. Gotta watch our wingtip here. Do paint a nice line for you. All right. So, brake set. All right, everybody. You have a real good week. We'll talk to you later. Bye.